Welcome back to the Tsumihoroboshi, where we last left off. I believe we were on Ooishi's perspective when they were investigating what happened to Tomitaki when he clawed out his throat. So now we're here. On, I guess it's Keiichi's perspective. I could be wrong. Let's continue. Rena had been sick ever since that day, and she hadn't been able to join in on club activities as often since. Yeah, I still feel feverish. You do, huh? That's a pity. Hey, Rena, why don't you just try and play with us today? I think you'll feel a lot better if you blow off some steam with us. You got this old man's agreement. Oh man. You what oh man, are you referring to Keiichi or what? Do you think so, do you? Sometimes resting too much is bad for you. I don't know about that. You're quite correct. All illness comes from the mind, don't you know? Everybody has suspected for a while that Rena isn't really sick, at least physically. It's just that many things happened to her at once. She caught a mental cold. Is that even a thing? Can you even get a mental cold? That's why I thought she would get better once she played with us, just like we used to. It seemed like Rena was aware of that too. She knew that she had to get out of her state of depression soon. She wanted to get better, and she wanted to have fun again every day. Okay, I'll do it. Great. That's the spirit. Considering the fact that Rena is still recovering from her illness, let's play a tabletop game today. Oh boy, how much I love tabletop board games. I'm gonna tell you right now, tabletop games usually it doesn't get along when it comes to friends. Let me see. Oh, Mion started rummaging through her locker, humming to herself. Oh yeah, there is a Rena crying image, but I'm pretty sure you can just find it on like community content or something. Like I'm humming to herself. She took one game after another from the locker and put them aside. Because the problem with it, like with the CG image, is that I can't pause it. It is so just to make like an image comparison, but it is what it is, right? That locker definitely didn't obey the laws of physics. The amount of games she took out from the locker was more than what it could physically hold. Oh, I forgot about this one. Let's try this. Today we'll be playing this detective game. Oh, what's that? Sounds interesting. My alarm going off. Well, this is a game where you guess the culprit, the murder weapon, and the scene of the crime. It's a game where you use your brain. Wow. You'll pick it up as you play. All you need to do is note down the information you have. Oh ho ho. In other words, you need to learn the trick of note taking. This is a game for intelligent people like myself. Jesus Christ. Look at her being a cocky little brat like she is. The rules don't seem that difficult. In short, it's a game where you sound out the cards each player holds in order to try and reason out the identity of the cards first drawn out of the deck. There are plenty of games in different formats where you try to identify something hidden in the least number of steps. This one just happens to be a competitive one of those. The key to winning this game would be how well you can organize your information. We usually like to play athletic games so that we can run around a lot, but in our club, you have to excel both academically and athletically. Alright, this is gonna be great. Let's play. Oh my goodness, it's loud as hell. Gotta config the thing again. Let me see here. There we go. I usually can't tell because I'm also using a headset mic that sort of balances it, but I could be wrong. Let's play. Reina, do you remember how we still haven't decided the winner of the water gun battle? I'm going to settle it today once and for all. Oh, are you? Then I'm not going to go easy on you. If Rena is getting serious, I'll have to get serious too. Yes, indeed. Since that water gun battle, I have reevaluated Keiichi-san and Rena-san. I'm going to be merciless today. This is getting exciting. This old man's been waiting for everyone to get this fired up. Excellent. Let's do this. Are you ready? I did it with a knife in the library. Okay, my turn. Eiichi-kun did it with poison in the hall. Poison? Oh, what a card. My goodness, man. My turn. Miyo did it with a pistol in the lounge. You're holding the pistol, aren't you? You're bluffing. I think I know the suspect and the murder weapon. I've narrowed the scene of this crime down to 2. With the scene of the crime, that is. Oh, you're good, Rika-chan. I've narrowed the suspect down to 2, but it's hard to pin down which one it is. I'll give you a tip. There's always a hint in the questions the other players ask you. If you figure it out, you can even solve the whole mystery by the order of the cards the others put down on the table. I see. Damn it, I underestimated the depth of this game. Oh no, my notes are such a mess, I can't even read my own handwriting. Once you acquire the skill of note-taking, you'll have a 70% chance to win this game. The fuck is this? Why are we putting RNG in this? But even a 70% chance won't be enough to defeat me. I kinda knew I didn't stand a chance of winning this game, but I gradually started picking it up. Rena seemed to be getting her energy back as she played along. It was the right decision to force her to play with us today. While we were in the middle of the game, Chie-sensei came into the classroom. My, you look like you're having fun. Anyway, is Ryuko-san here? Oh? You have a visitor. Everybody looked puzzled. Parents sometimes showed up at school for some reason, but Chie-sensei never called them visitors. What do you mean? That's a little vague. It's rare to have a visitor at school. I wonder who it is. Well, I have to go. You can continue without me. Oh, I thought this chapter was going to be one of those filler, but I guess not. Rena left the classroom at a run. What should we do? Should we wait for her? I don't know about that. It's going to take forever. Well, we don't know how long it's going to take. Rena told us we could continue, so let's do that. Yeah. Alright, what's the worst going to happen? Alright, we're on Rena's perspective now. Around the entrance, the glaring sun and the cool shade made for a clearer contrast. An old man who's holding his jacket on his arm was waiting for me. He looked like he was overheating, and his tie was limp. Oh my god. I thought he was gonna like wait in his car with the AC all turned up on max. Are you Ryuga-san? Reina, Ryuga-san. Ever since Reina called me Reina, I've hated that. Oh wait, ever since Rena called me Reina, I've hated that name more than ever. Because of that, I didn't have a good first impression of this man. Yes, that's me. May I ask who you are? My car has air conditioning, so why don't we move into there? Yeah, I expected that. Aren't you hot out here? Well, no shit. He ignored my question and started walking towards the car parked in front of the school gate. If he wanted to talk about something normal, he would have used the teacher's office. But he wanted to talk in his car instead. I couldn't help but feel suspicious. Sus. Chie-sensei let him see me, though. That meant he wasn't a suspicious individual as far as she was concerned. Who was he? I don't know. It's not like he is in his detective format. I don't bite, Please, this way. Bite. He called out to me while opening the rear door. Is he a policeman? Did the police find out that I killed those two? I felt anxious all of a sudden. Was this what they called a voluntary interview? I didn't want to go in that car, but I rejected his offer. It'd only make me look suspicious. I prepared myself and got in. It was really cool inside the car. A car AC must cost a fortune. At least my father's car doesn't have one. Please let me know if it's too cold. I like keeping it that way. So, what's this talk about? In retaliation, I ignored his question and got to the point like he did. He pulled a small notebook out of his breast pocket and flipped through it. He picked out a photo from it. The photo showed the face of a goofy looking man. Please tell me if there is anything you know about this person. The man in the picture was expressionless and looked half asleep. Sometimes you can't even recognize your own family members in a photo where they don't have an expression, so there's no way I would recognize a person who wasn't related to me. But what if it is related? But anyway, that was a bit of a relief. This had nothing to do with Rena or her partner. Okay, well, I guess I'm wrong. There were scribbles on his shirt, and we found the signatures of students at the school, including yours, Ryugu-san. Uh, is this Toмотaki-san? I don't feel his usual carefree unreliableness from this picture at all. From this half-awake, emotionless face. How about this woman then? I knew what he was going to show. Her name is Miyo-san. Miyo Takano-san. When did you see them last? I think it was right after the Watanagashi festival. Didn't you notice anything strange? Anything. Please tell me. Did something happen to them? Oh, great. Yeah, I got it. To tell you the truth, I wasn't sure if it was Rena or Mion. So you gambled? How risky. It doesn't matter how he won. What matters is that he won. Oh, Rena, welcome back. Oh, Rena, welcome back. What took you so long? Mion noticed that Rena had returned. She looked exhausted. I have no idea what she talked about with the visitor, but it was obvious it wasn't something fun. Rena, you okay? What? What's okay? What? I'm talking about you. You look pale. Are you sure you're all right? Rena tried to convince us she was fine, but her face clouded over for a moment and she decided to leave early. I shouldn't have forced her to join the game. I was regretting it a little. Rena probably forced herself to play with us, even though she wasn't feeling well at all. Rena put her stuff in her bag, apologized, apologized to us for leaving early, and left the classroom. Well, she's gone now. I guess we have to keep playing until we have a loser. Wow. Once again, being cocky? That's right. Whose turn is it? Meep. Okay, Rika-chan. Come on. Oh, 14 minutes in. It's a bit surprising on that one. I thought it was going to drag a little bit longer, but I guess not. Ooh. Wait, this isn't pink text, though. First of all, I wasn't very close to Miyo-san. I knew who she was, so I greeted her whenever we happened to pass by. But that was about it. I never really talked to her except for the one time, and that time was only recently. It was between the day at the Watanagashi festival and The day I was caught in the act of burying the two corpses by Keiichi-kun and my other friends. Oh, they believe. Yeah, this is Rena's perspective now. I had a phone call from the library that evening, and I was told that my father needed to return the book he borrowed. He was shopping at the home improvement store at the time, so I went to the library to return the book for him. While I was there, I thought about borrowing some books for myself, and I started walking around the library. I saw her there. Oh, Reina-chan. Hello. Miyo-san. Hello to you too. I didn't expect to see you here. Really? I was going to say the same thing. I always spend time here, and I've never seen you. She smiled in the very attractive and charming way that only mature women can do. Her smile gave no indication that she knew her death was just a few days away. A few days to live. She said that she often met with Tomitaki-san at the library. It seemed like she had some time to kill, so she told me she wanted to buy me a drink. I had nothing to do after that. I let her buy me a canned iced milk tea from the vending machine in the library, and we talked for a while. I wish we have a vending machine in the library, though. That's pretty convenient. Once I came to think about it, it was a little ironic. She mostly talked about the series of mysterious deaths in Inamizawa. She had no idea that she was going to be the victim of its 50th year. The series of mysterious deaths? You've heard it about at least once, haven't you? 4 years ago, the manager of the damn construction site was murdered. 3 years ago, the Hojo couple died. 2 years ago, the Farouk couple died. And last year, it was Satoko-chan's aunt. The series of mysterious deaths have been going on for 4 years now, and in a few days it'll be the fifth. I have heard about it, but you don't know for sure that somebody will die this year. I do. Someone will die in a few days for sure. There's that old saying, everything that happens twice will happen a third time. So isn't it also true that what happens 4 times will happen the fifth? Miyo-san was convinced that the fifth mysterious death was going to happen, but she didn't know she was going to be the fifth victim. That's ironic and also really creepy. But there was always something creepy about her. So maybe she knew that she was going to be killed in a few days, but still managed to make that mysterious smile. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Of course I know about it. I've lived here for more than a year. Every year on the day of the Watanagashi festival, one traitor to the village dies mysteriously. It's been that way since the dam conflict. Each case was solved individually, but mysterious incidents still happen every year. Makes me wonder if there's some kind of will to all this. The creepiness and incomprehensibility of it all gave rise to the name, The Curse of a Yashiro-sama. Oh boy, which fit perfectly. Despite this, I always thought The Curse of a Yashiro-sama was just a series of coincidences. My reason for that is because I strongly believe that Satoshi-kun was the one who murdered his aunt on the fourth year. I don't have any evidence, but I just know it. I know that Satoshi-kun was in a serious predicament last year and that he had nowhere to turn. He had no one to help him, but he had to save Satoko-chan as soon as he could. Satoshi-kun thought it through and made the best choice he could to handle the situation, just like I did when I had my problem with Rena. Does that mean what? What do you mean? Like, if Miyo wouldn't Rena? No. What I meant to say is, would Rena like disappear because she did the similar thing what Satoshi did? Anyway, I hesitated to inform Miyo-san that Satoshi-kun was the murderer on the fourth year, so I just listened to her for a while. According to her theory, the series of the mysterious deaths isn't just a set of coincidences, but is instead a series of interrelated murder cases. At that point, my theory was completely the opposite of hers, but I decided not to cut in. You know about the cult of Yashiro-sama here in Hinamizawa, don't you? Takano-san started telling me that Hinamizawa was once called Onikafuchi. Yeah. She also explained the story of how well the villagers were in the old days, showing me the scrapbook she was so proud of. The villagers back then were called man-eating demons, but they were also mired as transcendents, enlightened people not bound by earthly desires. Early desires, huh? That's a bit of a stretch. So according to your theory, a group of cultists who worship Yashiro-sama are living in Hinamizawa, and they're trying to show the power of their god by enacting a series of mysterious deaths, right? I'm not sure if we should call them cultists or fundamentalists. The line between them is very vague. In the Meiji era, when the name of the village was changed to Hinamizawa, the customs and the traditions of Unikafuchi were brought to an end. I think there are some people who want to revive those traditions and regain the name and awe of Onikafuchi. Miyo-san's theory was more than a little crazy, but it was also fascinating. At first, her theory had sounded like she was just jumping to conclusions, but after she eagerly showed me the documents she'd been studying, I started to think that it wasn't actually too far from the truth. If her theory was true, it would mean that the accidental deaths of the Hoja couple in the second year, the suicide and the death by disease of the Furu couple in the third year, and the drug addict murder in the fourth year were all cooked up. It means someone who has a lot of power and influence over the police was involved. When I pointed that out, Mia-san nodded in agreement and she started talking about how strongly they were rooted in the village and how deeply they were involved with many public organizations. After she finished explaining all that, I finally noticed that Mia-san was suggesting that the three families, including the Sonozaki family, were the masterminds behind the murder incidents. In fact, the Sonozaki family really is very powerful. They hold influence not only over Hanamizawa and Okinomiya, but also over the entire Shishibone area. It might not be wrong to say that they even hold influence over the entire prefecture. If the Sonozaki family is behind all of this, her theory would be more realistic. Yes. So powerful, it's like the fucking mafia. But that means I should be suspicious of Michan. No, I shouldn't. But in fact, Michan was very cold and unkind to Satoshi-kun when he was going through a tough time. I know there was conflict between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family during the Dam Wars, but still, she was very cold to Satoshi-kun. But Michan admitted that what she did was wrong, like it's a fucking sin, and I forgave her too. I didn't want to think about that again. I decided to change the subject because I knew it'd make me feel uncomfortable if we kept talking about the Sonozaki family. First of all, what is the people's belief in Hayashiro-sama all about? It's a little funny that demons and humans wanted to coexist. In folktales, humans usually try to wipe out the demons. That's quite true. That's why Oyashiro-sama is so interesting. However, there are actually many stories that say people in old days worshipped a god that had drifted to our world from the land of the gods. It's the worship of drifted gods, in other words. There are a number of myths all over the world about people worshipping a god who came from beyond the sea or from up a river. The gods in those myths are actually people who came from different countries, right? That's the general theory, yes. Ancient Japanese culture was far beyond. that of other nations. When Japanese people in those days saw a foreigner from a developed country, they were so impressed by the knowledge the person had that they started worshiping them. They started worshiping them as a god. That's one theory. I've heard that red oni and blue oni were actually foreigners who drifted ashore in Japan because their boats got shipwrecked. The Japanese may have created Tengu out of foreigners too. They probably saw a foreigner who had a reddish skin with a very long nose. Wow, you're pretty sharp, Rena-chan. I agree with you. Reddish skin. I don't know if it's Oni. Ain't that something? I agree with you. I think most drifted god worship are based on encounters with foreigners. But if that's so, Onikafuchi's drifted god worship would have a contradiction. Do you know what it is? No, I don't. It's easy. Onikafuchi isn't adjacent to the sea. Oh, of course. In order to have any connection to foreigners, the place in question must also have a connection to the outside world. In Western countries, that connection would be rivers running between adjacent countries. In Japan, that connection would be the ocean. So most of the drifted god stories in Japan originated near the shores. Well, isn't there a possibility that the foreigner washed ashore somewhere else first and then traveled to Onikafuchi? Well, the thing about the worship of Yashiro-sama is it specifically pinpoints Onikafuchi Swamp as the place where demons first appeared. The swamp isn't connected to any rivers, so how could a foreigner wash up there? That's why the mystery of Oyashiro-sama is so interesting. No words. How much do you know about the legend of Oyashiro-sama? I just read a picture about I just read a picture book about it in school. I feel like I know a lot about it, but I actually don't. I just have an extreme fear of the rule not to leave Inamizawa. After all, my life went wrong after I had left. I felt dizzy when I tried to think about it further, so I stopped. When everything went wrong in Ibaraki, I met Yashiro-sama and he told me to go back to Hinamizawa. No, no, no. I'll get dizzy. Don't try to remember. Don't try to remember. I can't remember. I can't remember. I got desperate because I felt responsible for the divorce. I just used Yashiro-sama as an excuse for my mental instability. And I told my father I wanted to go back to Hinamizawa, right? But wait, Yashiro-sama did come to me. Oh no, the colors are too dazzling. I can only remember the vivid color of the pills and the dizziness. That's all you need to know. The demons came out of Onikafuchi Swamp and they attacked the villagers. Oyashiro-sama saw it and came down to save the villagers from the demons by exiling them to hell. The demons cried and the villagers felt bad for them. They decided to let the demons live in the village with them. Oyashiro-sama was impressed by the kind hearts of the villagers, so he gave human forms to the demons and let them coexist. The blood of the demons blended with that of the villagers as they lived alongside each other. That's exactly what I read in the book. I felt dizzy, like I was going to faint because I touched the one memory I didn't want to. People say that most myths are based on an event of some sort that happened long ago. What event do you think is the truth behind this myth? Because I was still feeling dizzy, all I could do was tilt my head quizzically. It seemed like Miyo-san was expecting that response because she smiled, looking satisfied that she successfully made me confused. She took a scrapbook out of her paper bag. I'll let you borrow this for a while. Thank you, but I... Don't worry, just read it whenever you have some time to kill. I want to know what you think about the things written in this scrapbook. I'd like to know, even if you disagree with me, because you really are very sharp. Jiro-san isn't interested in things like this at all, so I appreciate your input. I had little choice but to take the scrapbook. Apparently, Miyo-san came to the library often, so I figured I could return it to her whenever I came to return my books. However, the day I'd returned the scrapbook to Miyo-san never came. What's wrong? You don't look good. Are you feeling okay? I caught a summer cold. I'm still recovering from it. It wasn't the summer cold that was making me feel dizzy. I always get dizzy when I try to remember the time I met Yashiro-sama in Ibaraki. I mustered all my courage and asked her. My memory of those days in Ibaraki is blurry. I know I met Yashiro-sama. Nobody believed me, and they told me that it was a hallucination. But I thought Miyo-san would listen to me. Miyo-san, um, can I talk to you about something? Yes, of course. You listened to me, so it's my turn to listen to you. Well, it's about a Yashiro-sama. You must, you might laugh at me. I won't. You didn't laugh at me either. Miyo-san said it in a very gentle and mature way, and that encouraged me. Even so, I still hesitated to talk, but there was probably nobody but Miyo-san with whom I could talk about something like this. I gathered my courage again and spoke. I have met Yashiro-sama. You have? Yes. I used to live in Hinamizawa until right before I went to elementary school. But my mother got a job in Ibaraki, so we moved. Well, you know what that means, right? Yes, I do. You broke the rule of Yoshiro-sama, which is to never leave Hinamizawa. That's right. And then many things happened. My mother divorced my father, and my family was broken. I got desperate and did some bad things. It must have been terrible. Then what happened? Then what happened? I started hating everything in this world, and I started to feel like everybody who was happy was looking down on me. That's when a mysterious existence started to appear. You mean a Yashiro-sama? The first time it came to me was, please don't tell anybody about this. It was when I started injuring myself by cutting my body with a knife. I cut my neck, and something very dirty and gross came out with the blood from the wound. It was, I'm not going to laugh. Go on. The chill I felt at that time came back to me. I sealed that memory away so that I wouldn't have to remember ever again. But once I unsealed it, I started remembering things one after another. Yes, back then there was something in the blood, something crawling. It was countless, dark red maggots. They squirmed up and out from my neck and with each drop of blood. But they wanted to stay in my body, so they crawled back in through the cut. I didn't want those creepy things to get back inside my body, so I clawed at the cut on my neck to get them out. But it hurt so much and it only made my hands and neck bloody. I got scared all of a sudden. I was scared because I thought there were that many nasty maggots in my blood vessels. So I cut a blood vessel on my thigh just to see how it looked. I thought I could see it better if it was my thigh. Then they oozed out from there too. So many of them. I understand, Ryugu-san, so please calm down. No, you don't understand. The maggots come out from my with my blood and then they try to get back inside my veins. It really, really itches. Ugh. Please bring a doctor. No, no, no. Don't claw it like that. Please, bring me a sedative. Hurry. Hold her down. Please kill the maggots in my veins. Please take all the blood out of my body and flush my veins out. There are so many of them in there. Why don't you believe me? I'll show you. You'll believe me if you see them, right? I don't want to get any more shots. No, 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 no. Calm down, okay? Miyo-san sat next to me and held my hands tightly. Her touch brought me back to reality. So, what happened? Nobody believed me, but then he showed up. Oyashiro-sama came to me. The memory was very vague, and I saw flickering lights. It made it difficult for me to remember. Excuse me. I met Oyashiro-sama. That sentence is all I remembered. The memory of actually meeting Oyashiro-sama was unbelievably vague. After I got out of the hospital, I continued being treated at home. I still felt something moving in my veins, so I wanted to cut my body to make the blood ooze out so that I could make sure that there were no maggots in there. Usually I was sleeping like the dead because of the strong pills I was taking. But one day I forgot to take the pill and my consciousness was very clear. I felt the maggots moving in my veins and I felt the urge to look inside. I cut a vein on my wrist. I knew it. A lot of blood and many dusky red maggots came out from the wound. I wanted to wash them off before they crawled back inside me. So I put my wrist under running water in the bathroom sink and I tried to open the vein. Water, blood, and maggots ran down into the drain. Just like squeezing out the pus from a pimple, I squeezed the vein to get rid of the dirty blood and the maggots. I kept doing it. My arms started to feel numb and I felt cold, but I kept doing it. I thought I might die from losing too much blood, but I kept doing it. My body was filled with maggots. I had to squeeze all my blood out of me. What a very insanity. And then a very bright light shone upon me. It was a very bizarre sensation. I had never experienced anything like it in my life. All of a sudden, the dark bathroom was filled with a bright light. It was very bright but gentle. It wasn't like the light from the merciless fluorescent bulb. It was very warm and gentle. That was Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama was looking at me with gentleness and sadness in his eyes. As he touched my wound, the maggots started melting and disappeared in front of my eyes. That wasn't all. All the maggots that were moving throughout all my veins disappeared too. Oyashiro-sama taught me these maggots were the curse. People of the demon's blood can't live outside of Hinamizawa. It's the rule. Unfortunately, you've been cursed. It's very sad, and I feel sorry for you. There is only one way to save you. That's what he said. What should I do? The answer was very simple. All I needed to do was to go back to Hinamizawa. I unconsciously knew that before I heard it from Yoshiro-sama. People who were born in Hinamizawa must never leave. But I broke Yoshiro-sama's rules. I left Hinamizawa. That's why my family was broken, and I lost my mind. If I hadn't left Hinamizawa, nothing would have gone wrong. And so I had to go back. Yoshiro-sama also told me this. He could make the maggots, the embodiment of the curse, disappear, but only temporarily because I lived far from Hinamizawa. After a while, the power of Yoshiro-sama would fade away, and the curse would start eating my body again. If that happened, the maggots would take over my body, and I would go insane and die. I must go back to Hinamizawa before his power to hold down the curse faded away. That's what Yoshiro-sama told me. He did? I heard him tell me that. I should have gone back to Hinamizawa earlier. That's why Yoshiro-sama came to me to put his curse on me. But he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance to pay for my sin of leaving Hinamizawa. Dad, listen. Yoshiro-sama is going to help us. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. Hinamizawa is the place where we must live. If we don't, not only me, but you might be cursed too. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. That's the only place where we can live. We need to hurry. We need to hurry, or Yashiro-sama's power will fade away, and my body won't be eaten by the maggots. Oh no, Yashiro-sama's following me. He's telling me to hurry. He follows me everywhere and keeps telling me to hurry. He keeps apologizing to me for putting his curse on me. He follows me everywhere and keeps apologizing. I'm telling you the truth. I am. Why can't anybody see it? Why can't they see the maggots or Yashiro-sama? Everybody's trying to fool me. I know they can see them, too. No, no, please stop. I don't want to get another shot. Uh, are you okay? I was breathing hard, and Miyo-san was holding my shoulders. I could feel that the terrible memory I'd been trying to forget was awakening. The doctors told me that the memory was just my delusion. They told me that since I blamed myself for the divorce, I unconsciously had a desire to blame someone else for it, and I unconsciously connected the desire to the folktale of Yashiro-sama that I read when I was little. I got drug treatment, received counseling, and waited. I gradually got better, and that proved the things I saw were just a hallucination. The doctors asked my father to consider moving to Nanamizawa if possible. Well, fortunately, he wanted to change his living environment to heal his pain from the divorce as well. So we came back to Hinamizawa. After we came back to Hinamizawa, I felt it. I felt in my bones that this was the place we should live. And I also felt Yashiro-sama's blessing. I definitely felt it. I felt the curse of Yashiro-sama starting to break. I was free. After I moved here, I went to the clinic in Gogura for a while. The doctor gave me the same poisonous looking pills, and I kept taking them for a while. The terrible memory gradually became unclear. Whenever I tried to remember it, I could only remember the strong side effect of the pills, and it made me dizzy. That's how I regained my peace. And then I changed my name, Rena. The reason was because my name reminded me of those bad memories. I didn't want to have anything icky in my life anymore. That's why I came up with the idea of taking icky things out. By changing the name, of course. After I took the I of icky out from my name, Rena, there was only Ray and Na left. Wow. Well, that kind of makes sense. My goodness. That's how Rena was born. I like that. When I was introduced to my classmates, I told them to call me Rena. Since then, that had been my name. I'm living my new life as Rena. I cut away all the sad things that happened when I was Rena. My father still calls me Rena, but I don't feel bad as long as it was just my father and my relatives. But then Rena came into my life one day and she called me Rena. Because she called me Rena, those colored lights started flickering again. I should stop. I should forget about it. The lights were still flickering. I'm sorry. Was I panicking that badly? You were muttering to yourself. I'm glad you calmed down. Judging by Miya-san's reaction, I wasn't panicking as badly as I thought I was. But I've probably had those panic hallucinations several times. If I started screaming and yelling like I once did, they'd take me away to a hospital again for sure. I'm certain I met Yashiro-sama. I saw the maggots. It's hard to believe, right? No words. Miyo-san smiled, looking a little confused. I couldn't blame her. I didn't expect her to believe it. I'm sure it was just a strange memory I created for myself in my hallucinations. Can't believe I can't trust myself. That's the worst feeling of all. Reina-chan, first of all, you don't have to worry about anything. Yes. I'm talking about the curse you're afraid of, and the maggots that you saw in your blood. According to what Yoshiro-sama said, you're free from them as long as you stay in Hinamizawa, right? Yes, that's what he said. Then you don't have to be scared. You don't have to worry about anything. You're in Hinamizawa right now. Well, this library is in Okonomiya, but it's very close to Hinamizawa, so I'm sure it's okay with Oyashiro-sama. You don't feel anything moving in your veins right now, do you? No, I don't. So there's nothing to worry about. You're following Oyashiro-sama's rules. There's nothing you should be scared of. Is there? Right? No. No. I didn't know until then that she was such a warm-hearted person. I met many doctors and talked to them about this, but they always ignored me and didn't really listen. All they did was give me a shot of the drug I hated. On the other hand, Miyo-san didn't deny my story or the existence of Oyashiro-sama. The people in this village whispered behind her back that she's a little crazy, but she was actually a very kind person. I thought. Rena-chan, I believe everything you just told me. Thank you so much. You're the first one to ever say that to me. So are you. You're the first one who didn't laugh at me and listen to me so seriously. I think we can be good friends. Miyo-san smiled, touching my head with hers. Well, I'll let you borrow my secret files and my scrapbooks. These are top secret. I didn't want to show these to anybody, but you're special. I think I can trust you. I know you'll take them seriously. She took a few scrapbooks out of her paper bag and handed them to me. Let me know what you think after you read them. There might be something in them that only you can understand. Miyo-san was acting mysteriously. She smiled mischievously and put her index finger on her lips as a sign to keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody about these scrapbooks or that I'm studying this, okay? We're keeping this a secret? Okay, I got it. If they find out that I've been studying this, they might get rid of me. She laughed after she said that. They might erase her. That's what she said. And she went missing. She left me her scrapbooks. But that's not all there is to it. It's the way it's the way Toмотaki-san died. Ooishi-san said he committed suicide because of a state of excitation caused by using some kind of drug, but I know what really happened. I didn't tell Ooishi-san about it. I don't think he'd have believed me even if I told him. Without a doubt, Toмотaki-san died trying to get rid of the maggots. It was nothing other than the curse of Yashiro-sama. To never leave Hinamizawa isn't the only rule of Yashiro-sama. There are more. He might have broken one of them without knowing it. Ooishi-san told me Toмотaki-san was taking pictures with his camera's flash on during the sacred ritual dance. And some people got mad at him for it. Did Yashiro-sama put his curse on Toмотaki because he violated the sacred ritual dance? It might be for another reason. Anyway, he died from the curse of Yashiro-sama without a doubt. Did that mean Yashiro-sama put his curse on Miyo-san too? Investigating the gods is the same as getting close to the gods. It's disrespecting them. But Miyo-san told me that they might get rid of her if they found out about her investigation. By they, she meant humans. Plus, according to her theory, the three families are in a conspiracy to revive the faith of Yashiro-sama. But I can tell by the way Toмотaki-san died that it was the act of the curse. I'm certain about that because I experienced the curse myself. And at first glance, that seemed incompatible with those conspiracy theories about human beings. I remembered that Ooishi-san told me something about some kind of drug that can make a person commit suicide. And there's the little alarm going off. So do the three families have a secret drug that can cause the curse of Yashiro-sama? Okay, well, I need to save real quick. So, we'll continue more. So, like, comment, subscribe, and see you then. And y'all have a good one.